The Great Depression, which began in 1929 and continued throughout the 1930s, was a global economic crisis considered the most severe economic disaster of the 20th century. It left millions unemployed worldwide, led to the bankruptcy of countless companies, and caused significant damage to social structures. The roots of this economic catastrophe were laid by the rapid growth and speculative investments in the 1920s in the United States, which created an economic bubble that eventually burst. After World War I, the US emerged as a global economic power, experiencing a period of growth throughout the 1920s. This era, marked by significant advancements in industry, agriculture, and technology, saw an increase in demand for automobiles, household appliances, and other consumer goods. Innovations such as electricity and telephones improved living standards. This period of economic growth, known as the Roaring Twenties, brought prosperity to many segments of society. However, beneath this apparent prosperity and growth, fundamental economic issues were hidden. One of the primary factors that increased the vulnerability of the U.S. economy was income inequality. While the wealthy reaped substantial benefits from this prosperity, the wages of the working class remained stagnant. As consumer spending increased, people began taking on debt to purchase homes, cars, and consumer goods. At the same time, speculative investments in the stock market led to a rapid rise in stock prices. Many investors borrowed money to invest in stocks, further inflating the bubble. In 1929, the stock market bubble burst. On October 24th, 1929, known as Black Thursday, the stock market experienced a massive crash. Panicked investors began selling their shares, fearing further declines, which only exacerbated the market collapse. This panic continued for several days, culminating in the second major crash on October 29th, 1929, known as Black Tuesday. During this period, the stock market lost nearly 90% of its value. The crash affected not only stock market investors, but also banks, companies, and the general public. Many investors and banks went bankrupt, and people's savings evaporated. Following the stock market crash, banks entered a crisis. Banks that had extended credit to their customers began failing when those customers could not repay their loans. This led to a situation where people could not access their savings in the banks. As more banks failed, a widespread panic ensued, with more people attempting to withdraw their money, further exacerbating the banking crisis. Thousands of banks closed across the U.S., and millions lost their savings. The economic downturn quickly spread to all sectors. Unemployment rates soared, production ground to a halt, trade decreased, and the global economy took a significant hit. The agricultural sector was particularly hard hit during this time. Farmers, already struggling, faced even greater debt burdens as demand for their products fell. The Dust Bowl, an environmental disaster, further worsened agricultural production. Many farmers lost their lands and were plunged into poverty.